Ecuador, and so I'm pretty excited to actually take next week really slow. So I might not show up for some calls and stuff like that, and take a little break before the craziness really starts to begin. So yeah, and as far as distractions, I'm hoping to score some food, but that might have to wait till next call. I'll pass it to Edu.
Right. Well, right now distractions is the cold that is in the kasha. That's quite a distraction. But besides that distraction, there's nothing else. In intentions, I just want to check and put on feedback to everyone what we have done just today and the day before regarding the GitHub issues, and also the conversation we had and the workshop we had about the journey for the users. So yeah, so I will pass on to Santi.
Hello guys. Intention just to catch up with all the work that you guys have been doing in the group, and distractions. I just ended a call. That's the reason I got late. So no distractions for now. I don't know if I'm the last one or if there is anyone else still missing.
Septimus?
Yeah. For me, like distractions, I don't have a lot. I never have distractions, I think. I don't know. Yeah. And intentions is like keep learning and keep getting involved. And yeah, and I'll pass it to Nobelsdorf.
You managed to say my last name. That's amazing. Daniel here. I guess Dan or Daniel it's more human and humane to anybody say. So that distracted me a bit, but it's okay. My main distraction this week has been connectivity down here. I'm in Caracas, but I think I found a solution, so I'm happy. And Griff, it's good. Yeah, it's going to be okay, Griff. But my intention is just to listen in terms of onboarding. This is my first TEC onboarding call, and I had just taking in this knowledge to apply to community and to the commons stack mainly, and see how I can help you guys as well. Oh, Daiti, you wanna go?
Oh wow, look at that.
Let's see if this works. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
It only took a week and a half or even longer. So that's I've been in caveman mode for the past while, and I now have a really powerful machine. So with this, I think I'm going to go and get the gardens template installed, and I've come across an issue, so I'll post that. And then I put a proposal up on the to the DAO, but I never clicked that I accepted it when it got funded to do something a chat bot, so I might work with that. I want to learn Golang, so I'm going to be like most programmers and be a DH and do it in Golang, even though the industry is Node. So stop me if I should. That's what I'm going to do. I'll do up the scaffold and then put a document up, and we can have a look. And normally with something like this, you'd come at it from a model building an API and get your DTO right. So I'll try and get that in the document, maybe a table with what people would like to see. So you're in a chatbot or something, and then you just type in, your / command, how much funds is in the DAO, proposal number, etc. Give me information and stuff. That's my plans.
That's cool. Any distractions for the call?
And there's one more, comp. Yeah, in the I can't remember what the chat's called. Before I disappeared, there was talk about doing a fork of comp to mess about with their economics, basically. Yeah, see if we can improve it, but I don't know if that's still happening.
Edu, did you want to lead this call, Edu, or I can definitely pull it off, but I could pass it to you if you want.
Yeah, it's okay. So basically, I will try to resume what has happened in the last meetings because there are some faces that haven't been present in those meetings, so I will just recatch. We did on Monday our journey kind of experience, user experience for getting the hatchers and also to getting the projects, and we found ourselves in a peculiar situation where some people had another idea for what was the priority for this group, and another one had another idea for what it is. So we sort of put in common a common goal and a common priority, which is to actually get proposals / projects, and then to also get hatchers as the main priority for this group, and also to create a process to get these people on board. So that's our priority for this time being. It took us an hour to like find the sense and the common goal in this working session on Monday, and the idea would be that in the next session we actually work on this. We also have a Miro in the Miro board. The people who were present that day, you're welcome to add any view, but the people who were present that day on the Miro board, we were called to input what will be the ideal scenario for a journey. Like, for example, once you arrived or you're contacting a possible project, what would you do, and how that journey will be in your ideal mind, how that journey will be executed. So we did that in the Miro app. So different outputs. There is just one comment. If anyone wants to add their own journey to that app, it's to not only think that the projects will come to us, but that we will probably need to reach them out rather than passively waiting for them to arrive. So that's something to take into consideration. And then yesterday, we had a call with Tamara regarding the process and the priorities of this group, and also to create the GitHub issues and epics to be assigned. And I don't know if anyone has read the issues list or on the GitHub epic that were created yesterday regarding assignments and the things to do. If not, I invite you to take a look into it. I think that's something we should do in this call in order for, I don't know if anyone wants to take some assignments and anyone wants to like sort of redirect the work and understand it. So let me know if you have this link. If not, Griff, can you pass it on it the link to this issues and epics, so we can start like sort of redirecting the work. I don't know if anyone has any doubt about what I just explained regarding this week work.
You're muted.
You are muted.
Is that the Miro link that it's in the document that Griff is hacking?
I'll grab the link. I really like the idea of going to the issue board and cleaning it or absorbing it during the call eventually. I don't know if we have to go first, but I'll grab the ZenHub link. It'll just take me like 60 seconds.
Yeah, we will do the Miro explanation first, and then we will jump into the GitHub. What are we gonna say, Septimus?
I was saying, like, if someone can show screen, so it's easier for me to record, because if I start to go elsewhere, it's it's sometimes I have some wrong information and then I have to edit. And if someone can share screen, that would be super awesome.
Yeah, I can show you my screen with the Miro, so I can explain how it was developed. Give me a second. I have like 20 things open. Okay. So okay. Does it work? Can you see my screen? Sorry, can you see the screen? I don't know if you are seeing it.
It's loading.
Oh, it's loading.
Yeah, you might need to exit and re-enter. sometimes that usually fixes it.
Yeah. Give me a second.
There's like the hang up button, disconnect.
Yeah, this is tricky.
But I think I got the link. Let's see.
No.
Not yet.
Oh.
But usually,
Yeah.
what it's not is it showing for anyone else?
No, it for me it's also show that it's loading.
Okay.
Just give me
Usually,
1 second.
usually what fixes it is when you hang up. There's like a hang up button, like leave the room and then just come back in, and magically it works. I mean, I don't know math, like just like exit this room, like hang up, and then come back in, and it'll magically work. Hopefully, every time that this has happened, that's what.
I think it's more of to give permission to this to allow the. It doesn't have the permissions for recording the screen, so it doesn't allow me to mess it. Or I can pass the link. And oh, here it is.
I might beg you just to try. It will only. It may not work.
No, I got it. Now you. Yeah, I will have to restart the call. Give me a second.
And let me pass the link.
No. Okay. Now you can see it, for God's sake. So originally we were working with this, which was this is where the trigger was the first conflict came, because on this section we were talking more of a general onboarding journey, not focused on a hatcher and not focused necessarily on a proposal. So we started working. That's where we found the first like complication. So we did. So here, if you see this section that says user journey, and everyone is welcome to add the possibilities of the journey. But basically, if you see, you have different possibilities of the roadmap that we can follow. The ideal will be that everyone sort of put an input of how the information or how we should target or access, or will be the ideal case of accessing a project or targeting a project or a hatcher from the beginning to an end, to add it here. So when we add it here, we can actually reach some conclusions and then start working in the next session, creating a more organized process to reach out the hatchers and the proposals. This is in order to achieve a kind of automated process that can be replicated, no matter if Santi do it or no matter if Septimus does it. It doesn't matter who does it. The process will be kind of standardized. So everyone will receive the same information. Everyone will say more or less the same information. So it's more organized in a sense. So you're welcome to join. Hey Jessica, you're welcome to join and add your own journey to this board. And also it's welcome to any work session regarding this in the next matter. If anyone has any doubt?
No, it looks good. I like the plan.
How are you, Jessica?
Yeah, I'm good. A little low the last days because it's been raining for like 5 or 6 days, so that's challenging me a little bit. But yeah, I'm feeling a lot better today than yesterday. I just took some time for myself. So thanks for asking. And yeah, look forward to working on some of these things. And Eduardo, I wanted to ask you, we about something when we have a break in the agenda.
Sure, no problem. I was just explaining Jessica about the things that we worked on this past week regarding the Miro app and the journey and the results of that meeting, and also the conversation we had just today with Tamara regarding the GitHub issues and epics. I'm not following necessarily an agenda right now because Craig is not present, so I'm just like summarizing what has been done. So if I'm missing out, anyone is more than welcome to join and fill the gaps.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I don't know if anyone else in this call, but I think it'd be interesting to hear a little more about what Tamara said, because it sounded like it was a productive session. Maybe I could just look at the GitHub and see the issues, but were there like particular things that came out of that for
Yes.
like action items? And I know one of them I just wanted to connect with you about was like summarizing Jonas's research, just to create an issue for that. And I'm happy to support whatever issues are going on and needed. I'm going to kind of have a look today.
Yeah, I'm sharing. I'm trying to reach for the document that we worked on yesterday, where we had the call with Tamara. Give me a moment. I have so many tabs. Give me a second, and I will share you the notes, Jessica, and for everyone else to know what was the conclusion from yesterday's meeting. Give me a second, and I will be with you.
Also, I shared the link to the board on the onboarding working group channel, so you can see what we got. I mean, basically, at least for organization, there's like 3 main like epics, which are onboarding proposals, onboarding hatchers, and then everything else.
Thank you for sharing that. Give me 1 minute that I will show you the note, Jessica. Sorry, that I'm looking for the document.
Take your time. We can all breathe for a minute. We're usually so busy and so productive.
Here you go. Here is the document. Okay, I'm gonna share the screen again. Here we go. I don't know if you can see it. Can everyone see it?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So typical beginning of the meeting, we went through the structures and intentions. Tamara's objective for this meeting was to confirm deliverables, CSG and executables to add that to a GitHub issues and epics eventually. So first we went through the first part, which was trying to understand what was the mission of the group, and this was the conclusion: to target and bring hatchers on board and to solicit high quality proposals. And then we went through what was required, what were the steps or the deliverables, and we came out with these 4 deliverables. The first one was the consensus guide in order to approach hatchers and proposals, and then the hatchers, we are not repeating the same things on the proposal. We are just putting the things that are specific to the hatchers. So, for example, the hatcher requirements coming from the legal and so on, the outreach, and here this is something that Craig was working on, which is the database for potential hatchers, which is a document we call it the database. It's not necessarily a database, but that's how we call it. And then in the proposal, around 15 proposal, ideally, we had these points that were needed in order for reach kind of success on that point of the proposals. And then the other deliverable, we were talking the dataset conclusions of the Jonas research. So moving forward, I don't know if everyone has any doubt regarding these 4 deliverables for this group.
No, this is exactly what I feel like was needed, but I didn't have the energy to make chaos into order again. This is so great. This is exactly what we need that I was struggling to do the last days. This is great. just like make everything super simple. Like, and then you made some GitHubs for these, or we need to make issues for these?
I left the call just about at the end, but they were going to open they were meant to open the issues and
we ended up making epics and just 3 epics, and we actually that fourth deliverable for the research just kind of supports. We just kind of threw that in onboarding catch-all, but so we just made 3 epics, everything for proposals and everything for hatchers, and organized the board a little bit, but there's probably a little bit more granularity that could be used for sure. But I think for now I've identified what some of the blockers are. I think Dan's still on the call, right? Daniel? Or did we lose?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, so one of the big blockers is an issue that you're working on is getting consent on for the publicly linking names and CStack token holders. That's what will allow us to kind of advertise the CStack token holder, like, and make sure that we know who is available to be a CStack token holder, and all those things. So that's a big one. And just in general, establishing the requirements for being a TEC token holder. This is issue 81. And that's kind of just collecting information from legal and making sure that we know, like, if we have to do KYC or something like that. And so issue 88 is what Dan is working on. And that will lead to issue 55, which would allow us to kind of say, these are all the cool people that are CStack token holders that are available to be hatchers, and make that list even publicly available. That might also help recruit hatchers. And then, so that's kind of on the hatching front. And then on the proposal front, so in general, the hatching front is a little bit more blocked by that work. So, but the project front is totally open. So we have recruit and promote TE projects, which is just general onboarding, finding TE public good projects that we want. And we can start, this could be broken up into maybe a few smaller issues, like making a list, just doing research. Who are the TE, public good projects that we have? I don't think we even have a list. Yeah, I do.
So yesterday the epics were done, but the issues were not, like this section, for example, proposal qualification, outreach, onboarding process, like these issues were not created, right?
Yeah, so the issues that we had were put into the epics, but then some of these issues need to be a little bit more fleshed out and probably broken into smaller pieces so they're more achievable for everyone.
Was there any issue or epic assigned, or like?
No, we didn't do any assigning.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know what's the most useful for this meeting. Like, I'm also happy, Eduardo, if today you want to sit together. What just went through this whole process with the Common Stack comms was I had a document like this, then I put all the GitHub issue links inside. So this is kind of the strategy document, and then put the GitHub issues. And then I know for sure there's GitHub issues that I want to make sure that are in there and that somebody is championing. Like, I think, yeah, like you said, you would summarize the research. And then for me, there's a few items that I need to do. So I don't know, like walking through together to make sure, and then it's easier to delegate. And also the process by which we want to engage with different projects, because I know this has happened already, that many of us are bridge builders. And so we've maybe had multiple points of contacts with projects. So if we have just a small process that everybody knows, like, hey, put your initials next to Badger Doe, and you invited them to, this TEC weekly meeting, like maybe we have a few steps, like a checklist, and then somebody says, like, I've got Badger Dow, I've got Whaler. We have like steps, like invited them to the group, sent them onboard information, followed up that they understand, and like a little note about how they want to engage with us. And then maybe you could suggest like feature comms blog. And maybe even like what we used to do when I worked at a software company, we would have people write their own blog, like a guest blog about themselves. So maybe we have instead of me writing a blog on every single project, which I would love to do, if somebody has time to interview them, great. But maybe we say, hey, project, thanks for coming to our meeting and like wanting to engage in this process. Feel free to write out like a quick summary blog, or maybe we have a set of questions like a Q&A, and it's like, what is Badger DAO? What is your goal? And it's just like a really tight blog, like a guest feature that we could put on our Medium. So yeah, just developing a little bit of the process and then the GitHub issues. And then it'll be easier to like delegate and hand things off because it'll be really clear. I think that's been this like sense making process in the last week is just like, okay, what do we need? What are our priorities? And now it's like, okay, how do we start taking on tasks in a coordinated way?
Yeah, right now, I think the next 30 minutes of the call, we should go through the GitHub and sort of, I'm new to GitHub. This is not a tool that I control completely. So if you can lead the process, or Griff can lead the process through the work that we did just today, it will be amazing.
Yeah, I'm happy to lead the process, especially if someone else wants. Edu, if you want to like take on making some issues, or because I don't know, that's what I was about to do. I was just about to scurry and make a fuck ton of issues. Sorry, Zeptimus, can you bleep me? No, it's okay.
I'm happy to make the issues, and then Eduardo, if you can throw me that document that you were sharing with the notes, then I can like. You could throw the GitHub issues in there, maybe in this like strategy document. Well, if you want to make the GitHub issues, Eduardo, so you can learn. It's very easy.
Yeah. I learn by watching.
And we can also assign people in GitHub, and then they get an email anytime there's action on that issue. But that involves also making sure. I think everyone in here is actually on the GitHub. We're pretty liberal with giving people power over the GitHub. So, okay, so here's the ZenHub board. I gave it a link in the onboarding working group channel if you haven't seen it. So anytime you make a new issue, it will just pop up here. Right now, it's filtered by onboarding working group. If you remove this filter, oh boy, you get a real bird's eye view of everything that's going on in the Common Stack repo, and in the Common Stack coordination repo, and in the TE Commons coordination repo. So, but we're going to go back to just like looking at what matters for this call, which is onboarding working group. Some things here that are in that get the tag for onboarding working group also are not just onboarding working group. For instance, there's some soft gov stuff that kind of gets thrown in here, so that will end up being seen on the screen, but it's not necessarily something we have to work on. So the first column here is new issues. Anytime you make a new issue, it'll show up here. Second column is epics. Epics are kind of large grouping of issues based on a topic, right? So we need onboard proposals, we need onboard hatchers, and then they will have, and then we have onboarding catch-all. Ideally, every issue for the onboarding working group ends up in an epic, that there aren't any like orphan issues. The product backlog is where things go when we are like, oh, we don't really want to do it right now. But eventually this needs to happen, right? Like for instance, track T projects that want to submit proposals to the TEC. Maybe this is something that we want to move to right now. So let's move it to the sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is where we work on issues that are, like stuff that we want to do during the next 2 weeks. And if that gets blocked, for instance, like this one is blocked, we can throw it in the block column. So we don't have to worry about it. It can just hang out there. Oh, come on. And then if you are tackling an issue at that moment, it's kind of like Dan is working on this right now. We can move that one to in progress. And then everyone can see that, oh, this issue is being worked on by someone. And things in the sprint backlog, maybe someone has it claimed, but they're not actively working on it. So it's an opportunity for, this is a high priority task that can be taken on. So that's yeah.
Quick question. Just today, she mentioned about cleaning some old issues or stuff that were like unnecessary or outdated. I don't remember the word correctly. Was that the cleaning was done, or they still need to be done?
No, I think we did clean some old issues. I think we got rid of some old issues, but we didn't have time to break up issues into more digestible pieces. So I think there's definitely some more issue work that can be done. Like this one, we don't really have a plan for it so much. Like we could kind of come in here and say like the first thing is to find a champion. That's a great first thing for any issue.
We actually have a document already for that one too. And you said earlier, Craig made that tracking document, so it's got the potential hatchers and everyone that's gotten praise and their contact information. And another thing I wanted to integrate. I think
wait, that's for hatchers though, right? Is there one for project?
On the same document, there's another tab that's for projects. Like right now, I went and looked through it finally yesterday. It's got like Badger DAO, Whaler, and I started filling in some.
Yeah, and so it'd be amazing to have that link right here, so that anyone who wants to see what's happening, they just pop in here, or either directly in this or as a comment. Either one works.
Jessica, I sent you via Telegram the link to the documents.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this is work for me today to go through and flesh all these out, and all I can do is start doing it right now.
Maybe, and so what would you imagine? So you want to take on this issue, Jess? Is that what you said?
I will be happy to like set up the I think also this is kind of more than one task. I'll set up the process, and then I'll just need help with people volunteering to kind of relationship manage the different people. And then we just need, I think the process is what's missing. Like, are we going to have a Google form that they fill out about their project that we can have kind of like an outbound thing? Or is right now it'll just be very manual because we have just a few and we're only targeting 15. We don't need like a huge push right now. But maybe it would be good to have a Google form. And then we make sure that we calendar when we invite somebody to do the elevator pitch in the Thursday meetings, that we put that on the calendar or at least on the agenda and tell the stewards. And then we need to have like, I'll set up the process and start it. If I need help, I'll ask for help, I guess, maybe. If Eduardo, you're willing, or Daiti, or Zep.
And the nice thing is like if we could break that up into a small thing. It sounds like you're excited to make the list, right?
Yeah.
And then that's the whole issue, is just making the list.
Can we not lose track and go back to the things that were open, the epics and stuff, so we can like actually recognize what's priority to target, and then to what is needed if someone here wants to do, and then we focus on, we can team up Jessica to this issue, but I don't want to stay too long in a single issue.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can stay high level with just the tasks and leave them blank, and then go in and flesh them out, and then whoever wants to jump in.
Yeah, I would say that we don't have, like, for instance, this is the epic for onboarding proposals, and there's only 2 issues. There's this make a list issue, and then there sounds like Jess just listed out like 4 other issues that we could add right now, and so let's do it. Let's add those issues.
Yes, exactly.
So the first one was making the list, and then what was after you have the list, Jess? Then what's the next step?
Create the engagement process, like the checklist. I'll make it inside of that list.
create the engagement process for talking with these projects?
Yeah.
I want to make sure that the rest of everyone in the call is like completely on board what we're doing, like because I haven't heard anyone else in the past 15 minutes. Is anyone else has any doubt? Everyone has understood what we're doing, or is there anything that you need help?
Yeah, I understand how the call is going, but when I see the task, it's like I don't know how I would do it myself. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah, and that probably means you shouldn't. Maybe that's not the task that you want.
Yeah, probably.
And
Or if
maybe
you
the
want
task.
like if you want to get more involved and start taking these GitHub issues with me, and I can just say like, hey, if you have time, do this, like point you in the direction. And if you have time to do it, if you wanted 1 or 2 issues, I support you in like onboarding you into like how to do that, so you can come a little deeper to take on. Because I hear you wanting to take on more. I think it's just like it's a lot because you have like kind of know where to go and in the first few. So I can think about what would be good ones for you to take on and help you to come into the fold to if you're up for it.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah. No.
I was just going to keep going on onboarding the proposal, trying to make a kind of a game plan for how we want to start onboarding proposals. So after we create the engagement process for talking with the projects, what's the next step?
I guess people to volunteer to like relationship manage with a few of them, like delegate project relationship manager or something.
Yeah, for me, it's we started talking here about the onboarding, like assigning onboarding assignments of onboard. I don't know how you call that phrase, but it's basically we pick one, we target that person, and we go for it, like or that project, and we go for it. So for me, it's more of a it's reaching out.
So even in a smaller, even to keep it smaller, it's first assigning the important projects to a person, and then each person should probably have like an issue for the person that they're checking, right? Like, there'll be like the TE book proposal management, TE book proposal process, or I don't know, onboarding.
And I also kind of was curious, Daiti, like what your thoughts are. Like, I feel like you have a super brain. What are you interested to work on the most?
Myself, I'm just going through that list now, but it'll definitely be anything to do with coding, would be stuff I'd be able to help out with. I was just going to throw something there, but I can't find the issue. It was on like getting the projects. If it was me, I'd kind of go with it to have an end goal of, and usually these things like AMAs would be good. So you would take your media and everything you're doing on Medium and all the articles and stuff, and do whatever we decide to do, but to get the projects in. But as a suggestion, getting the projects in and stuff, and doing a big sort of event towards the end of it would help to hold them. Do you know what I mean? Like in the industry, these AMAs seem to be they seem to gain a lot of trust for whatever reason. Yeah, but I can't find. There's 140 issues in here. Yeah, 140. So I don't know. If somebody wanted to, I'd let someone take lead and sort of like Scrum Master some issues to me. I'd be able to take them on. But yeah.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a really cool idea to do the AMA like with the different groups and such. So that's a good thought as well, because I think it's easier than reading blogs sometimes if it's in a super tight, like 2 to 5 minute format or something. But yeah, we'll definitely pull you in here for it.
Jessica, can we then later clean up, like work on these issues to clean it up, or you want to do it alone? I don't know, but like clean it up a little bit too. I mean, I guess they will be adapted to a roadmap, or like they will convert it into a roadmap. But I don't know. I feel like they need a little bit of coherence.
Yeah, maybe we could put some, if you want to put like dates on this kind of strategy document or something. I like the roadmap idea. That's probably really helpful. But yeah, first we can clean it up and everything. And yeah, Griff, I don't know where it would go. Did you already create an issue for summarizing the stakeholder research from Jonas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's already there. It's not part of. I wouldn't say it's directly like as cleanly related to onboarding projects, but it's like a catch-all. It's in the catch-all onboarding, and it might be. And we could even say, hey, it's blocking, a certain thing. But.
Oh, and the other issue was, I sent it to you yesterday about, I was hoping Craig can integrate the trusted seed list and put the emails onto our TEC, this document I'm talking about.
Yeah, we just can't share emails on GitHub, but yeah, as long as it's on a document that's kind of like off GitHub. Or like,
we agreed that it would be like whatchamacallit, it's private unless it's like a few people, whatnot, like stewards or access, whatever.
Yeah, we just for emails and addresses, we always want to keep access limited.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, so there was that, you did bring up the proposal research. Edu, did you have anything, is that ongoing? That's probably the highest priority right now, or the first thing that's happening?
Yes, it's ongoing.
Yeah, for me, that's a really important step, because once we get the research summarized, I think it's going to give us a lot of insight in how to proceed and communicate with people based on the answers that they shared, just identifying some patterns. So, yeah.
Yep, I reached out yesterday, Jonas, to check that Elena material was there. He said yes. He's extremely busy at the moment. So I start working with what I have in the folder, in the Google Drive, and then probably by Friday there should be things as a result.
Awesome.
Just added all those labels. Yeah. So it does seem like making this list is a great starting point, right?
Well, we have the list. We just need to get everybody to populate it.
Okay. Or get one person to populate it. I mean, I think if we have 20 projects, if we have like, that's a good starter. It's like good enough. So I mean, we can put it out there, but hopefully, if you want to take it on, or if you don't want to take it on and you want someone else to take it on and bring it to, I just pulled 20. I pulled the number 20, like just out there, but just as a good starter.
Yeah. Oh, and also, Eduardo, I need to pull out of that document what kind of people said they would fund and what they wouldn't fund, or a content piece that I'm working on for that. I think for me right now too, having the GitHub issues is so helpful, because so many links flying, and I'm like having to go through my Telegram chat from like a week ago and be like, where was that thing again?
Cool. Well, another issue that's kind of related to that is organizing our slots for Thursday calls. right now it's kind of scary because I don't feel like anyone feels comfortable. Like I'm like talking to Jonathan, I'm like, yeah, you should talk on Thursday. Man, I have no idea if there's like someone already scheduled for this Thursday or not, or what. But now we know Shebnem is talking to tomorrow, right?
Was that Livy that said yes?
Yeah, I think Livy said yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was asked. I don't know how to make a GitHub issue for this, like coordination and process for inviting people to calls.
Well, I don't know if it needs a process. Honestly,
well, that's a process, but just like
if there was just one person that was running like a spreadsheet with 2 columns that had a date and who was presenting, you know, and made sure they were the point of contact for like owning it.
It's kind of part of, for me, it's part of that process of engaging with the project. What my imagination is like, we make a checklist, like I said, like invite them to present in meeting, put the date, send them onboarding materials, follow up and answer questions, like a little checklist that anybody could come in and jump in and like follow this little.
I guess I really don't, I have a strong desire to make sure there is one person managing it, because when somebody cancels, you know, if there's not, like, who do they cancel with, you know, and then like, oh, wait, but isn't Jonathan supposed to show up? Oh, he's not coming. And we find out during the meeting, you know, it's like, there's gotta be someone who's like, oh, I know when everyone is talking, I know who's on the board, and I know who I can switch if there's problems.
Okay. Does anyone want to volunteer, or should we nominate Dan, because Dan's going to kind of be running like partnerships and such going forward, like carrying the flag for that? And it's somewhat related, even though it's TEC, not Common Stack.
Void space.
Sorry, I lost a bit of context. I
Okay,
not having the
yeah,
best connection today. I found an option, but yeah, sorry on that.
No worries. I do think that we didn't really give context to this issue. So basically, every Thursday there's a 5-minute slot where in the Thursday sync call where we have some token engineering public good project present, and we need to coordinate that, because right now the community stewards are all kind of reaching out to people, and then like we're not really sure who's speaking and on which dates, and we don't have it scheduled or anything. And it'd be really nice just to have like, oh yeah, this person is talking on this day, and this person is talking on this Thursday, and this person is talking on this Thursday. Yeah, I do.
For me, this is a matter of a simple calendar, Google Calendar notes, where the stewards by Wednesday should add the link, the information to whoever is going to talk and present the day. So we all come at least with an idea of who we are going to see or what it's going about. So for me, it's just a simple action to just have it on the Google Calendar. Probably we need a next step to have it that centralized in a document where we keep track of these people who present. I don't know. This is my suggestion to that matter.
I think that's a great way to go. The main thing I'm having trouble with is the fact that I don't feel comfortable inviting Jonathan to speak, because I don't know if someone's already got the slot. Like, I can't coordinate with him to find a time. So I need to find. So
yes, that's why if we put it on the Google Calendar and we just ask the stewards or whoever does this to put in the calendar, we realize if there's someone else, if there's a space, if not less space, we have to say how many people will be presenting that day, and so on. So it's just a matter of having the information accessible in the simplest way. What happens to me is that usually when I look for something, there are so many documents that it's quite chaotic, but we all know where to look when we want to know the link for the stuff. So for me, the Google Calendar appointment, it's easier not only for us, but for the people who's coming to the meeting too. to see how much time if there's other people, or yeah, I think it's helpful way.
Okay, maybe this, I don't think we need like a whole thing, like you're saying, Griff. Just bring it up in the steward's agenda. Like, we don't need a person to manage it, I don't think. I think we just need to put it on the calendar, like Edu's saying. Are you cool with that? Like, we'll just put it on the steward's agenda, or you want somebody besides the steward to handle it?
I mean, I feel pretty strongly that we should have one person managing this, but I'm okay to be overruled on it because it's totally unnecessary. It's a very small thing. So if we want to try to
I don't
run
mind.
it through committee and see how it works out, we can definitely try it.
I mean, for me, it's just to be for everyone to just add a little action to their brains in sense of, okay, you book someone for that day, just remember to add it to the Google Calendar, because otherwise we will create 3 or more steps for another person who is not a steward to keep tracking behind people, and that will be a little bit messy because of people's times. It will be easier, yes, for individual, but it's a lot of time consuming for that single person who just doing that, like be after people like, oh, are you gonna be that, or are you coming, are you not coming? Like, I find that like everyone individually should have the responsibility that if you're inviting someone to talk, then just add it and communicate it and put it in a place, this place, the Google Calendar invite.
Okay. Cool. Then let's do that.
Just one comment here, which I completely agree with Eduardo. The problem arises when someone who committed to come for whatever reason is falling from coming, because things happen, shit happens, and at the very last minute they say they can't. Then we have to real quick try to reschedule someone who was scheduled for another day, or try to find someone who's gonna take his place. If there's no single person coordinating all that, it's harder to do so. I mean, if everything is fine, everyone inviting someone is going to take care, and the day that that specific person is going to present is going to show up, and everything's going to go smooth. But when for whatever reason one of them cannot join, we may have an issue.
What about we do an always +1? Like, we always invite someone plus. I'm just trying to understand how this works, but like to invite someone else always. I get what you mean, Santi. It makes completely sense. I think what could be interesting is that, for example, it will be easier if by Wednesday, Jessica, me, whoever it is, just see the list on Google Calendar and check that everyone can come. Is there something wrong if someone doesn't come? Like, what happens if someone doesn't come? Like, is there any repercussion? Is there any? I'm just trying to understand.
We just have a void spot. Probably someone will improv. I'll and just jump in there and be like, oh yeah, here's the spotlight. Yeah, I have a proposal. I want to make sure that closed source CAD models get open sourced, and then then they just make something up on the spot. I mean, it's not the worst case. It's not a horrible thing.
Are we like? I'm just trying to be clear in this process. Aren't we just kind of thinking and overcompensating about something that probably won't be harmful? In the sense of, we don't need to fill the gap. If there's no one, we just don't fill that gap, and it's fine. Like, I don't know why we need to overcompensate this. Just trying to understand.
Okay, for me, I have a guideline of like, if everyone's responsibility, it's no responsibility, and fail. So like, I have zero faith in issues that have not a single person who feels responsible for them being completed. That's just like a value I uphold, or a foundational belief in my project management like world. So like, it's something. It's a project that we want to run on a repetitive scale every Thursday. It's a small thing. If it fails, it's not a big deal. So, yeah, I mean, and it's just a small issue. So But we have it filled this week with the book, and I think we have a few people on board. So I'm sure it'll work out. But it's not the biggest thing. This is one thing in the onboarding, so.
Jessica, were you going to say something?
Just that it's top of the hour, and yeah, if we had any more like high level stuff, it was really important. Otherwise, we can circle for a work session at some point and clean up these issues, and then like when we're ready, then we can do the handoff to Daiti and Zeptimus for a few, since they're willing to take them on. But I'm sure there's stuff I'm forgetting. I kind of need to like organize myself, but this is a good start. And I think, yeah, summarizing the research is tops and getting some of this onboarding project stuff rolling. And then I have a few communications elements I need to throw in. Like number one for me is this content piece on what kind of projects will fund and what not. So that's kind of my priority list, I guess.
Okay, perfect. Shall we book then the cleaning and also the next work session for the journey? That should be probably next Monday or this Friday. I don't know, anyone else has something else to comment?
Is it Hitchhiker's Guide to Token Engineering? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. It's tokengenie.org.
So when do we do that meetup? Is it right now after this call, or we scheduled that for another moment?
Oh, we're just gonna do a little hacking session. Yeah, Zeptim. I mean, you're welcome. Anyone who wants to join. Eduardo, I'm looking at the calendar. Maybe could we do like 2 o'clock PST? Is that too late for you? That's like really late. Hold on.
Where? When? Sorry.
PST. What's the latest you can do?
Yeah.
What time is it now there?
It's 10 a.m.
Okay, 2, 10, 4 hours. No, it's fine. 2 p.m. is fine for me.
You sure? It's not too late?
Yeah. No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it's a bit
So
late because I
meet
have
in-
to work tomorrow.
It's late for you. Oh, okay.
Hey, Tam.
Yeah, we don't record it. We're just gonna do like going over the GitHub and such. 1 second.
Hello, everyone. Livy.
Okay, then maybe 12 o'clock.
It works for me.
Zep?
Yeah, for me like 12. I normally go sleep like in 5 hours. So for now until 5 hours,
Okay,
I'm available. But yeah, then I have to sleep because I wake up in the morning and yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to keep you late. I just have calls booked until then. So is it okay if we will go through the GitHub? It's really just like entering stuff in GitHub. It's boring. But then after we do that, we'll message you for asking for your help. Is that okay?
Yeah, that would be awesome, actually. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so, Eduardo, can we keep 2? And then we'll follow up with Zep to hand him off some things?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool. Good call,
Okay.
guys.
We will. Yeah, I don't know if someone was taking notes from this meeting. I wasn't. I forgot about that. But we will resume and follow with everyone else the results, and eventually when is the next journey work session, so we can keep working on this. And the ones who have missed what the GitHub part, you can enter to the GitHub and see some of the issues and epics that has been created. And if anyone has any doubt or wants any issues for themselves or wants to create another one, just think something be changed, just please note it on the Discord channel. And that's it.